What is new, Speed Duel crew? We are coming back with a deck profile of our Minnesota high school state champion who won with his Koala burn deck. So let's say hi to Logan Holt here and get ready for the deck profile.
Hi. So first off, we've got, of course, 3 Koalas. Great for the burn damage. I guess we could go to the skill, of course, first. So for one skill, we've got Desert's Peril. It's very good for flip effects because it flips any monster you pick twice per duel. You flip all the monsters face down, and then you can pick one to flip face up into attack position, effectively flip summoning your monster, even if it has been summoned that turn. So if you start with a Koala, you pretty much can get 1,600 right off the bat because your opponent's drawing 4. And so then if we're hitting double up skill, which the tournament was, we would use, as I predicted, drawing 2 cards and then skipping your battle phase. We're not really using our battle phase for this deck. So, drawing 2 cards and picking the best one is really ideal for that, for this deck. And then, so we've got 2 Penguin Soldier, which is very good for bouncing monsters back to the hand that you don't want there if they attack into it, as well as putting cards back in your opponent's hand for that Koala effect. And we've also got Lava Golem as well, very good burn damage if your opponent's got 2 big monsters or something like that that you don't want to deal with. You just sacrifice those guys and don't have to worry about it. And then we'd also run 2 Nightmare Penguin as well. Any card on your opponent's field, very good to just bounce back into the hand. Like if they've got a trap that you don't want them to spring, you can just flip it and then put it back in their hand, and that's another card in their hand for that Koala. And we've got a Lady Assailant Flame. She's very good. Just regular burn damage, 800 damage, and then banishing 3 cards isn't ideal, but it's still pretty good burn damage. And then we've also got a Boganian. Right now I'm thinking, so Boganian, he's got to survive a turn, which isn't really ideal, but he's good burn damage for 600. And then we've also got a Medora as well. He's any deck, very ideal, just not to deck out and put cards that you want back in your deck. We've also got Fossil Dynapachycephalo, very good floodgate. Anytime. It's also pseudo flip summon, so destroying special summoned creatures as well, or monsters. And then you've also got that. And so the only problem with that, though, would be the Lava Golem. So you got to watch out if you have that on the field. You don't want to, save up your Lava Golem for that later if you're going to have that on the field. So then moving on to the traps, we've got Floodgate Trap Hole, 1 of 1, very good trap. Just, if your opponent summons a monster, just gets flipped face down. It's a 1 of 1, but very good, especially to save a monster for later for a Lava Golem sacrifice. Then we've got, we'll main 2 Waking the Dragon, but later in the side deck, we'd also put 2 Quaking Mirror Force, which you've also got another of here. So a good strategy is keeping those Waking the Dragons in your deck at first, in your main deck, when your opponent's afraid of those Quaking Mirror Forces and stuff, which is a very big punishment to them. And then it summons, a big monster from your extra deck that you'd want to summon. And then also Quaking as well is very good, just to punish your opponent, but as well as keeping monsters on the field for that that Lava Golem. A very good feature with Waking the Dragon is it's any card from your deck or extra deck. And so, if they pop that their first turn, they don't have monsters on the field, you can use a card like Ojama King, and it blocks all of their monster zones, because there's only 3 monster zones in this format. And that's what I actually did in the first round of the tournament. It was the second, or I think it was the third game of the first set, and they had popped my Waking, and I had just summoned an Ojama King and locked him up, and he just couldn't do anything about it, and I just waited out till I burned him. And if we move on to the spells, so we've got Sol and Luna. That's a very good card if your opponent has a monster on the field and stuff, and it can. It's another sort of Book of Moons 3. Very good for this deck. It's a flip deck, so you're putting your own monsters face down when somebody's attacking into them, or somebody else's monster if that's not ideal for you. It's a very versatile card, as well as paired with Sol and Luna. Both like Sol and Luna flipping your opponent's monsters down and yours, but then Book of Moon being very good there. Something that I am thinking about is switching out of Sol and Luna for Cups of Ace, as well as that Boganian as well, because Boganian has to survive a turn, not very ideal. And then Soul of Luna, it is required for your opponent to have a monster, so you can brick with that card. But Cups of Ace as well makes your opponent draw 2 cards, which is good for that Koala synergy, and then also lets you draw 2 cards, which is always good for card advantage. So that's something that I've been thinking about doing recently. And then we can finish off those spells with 3 Swords of Revealing Light. Very good for, stalling out till you get some burn cards, as well as, as well as pairing with a Lava Golem, sacrificing their monsters, playing that. They're stuck with that Lava Golem, they can't attack with it, and then they're taking that burn damage. So first, in our extra deck, we've got Ojama King, very good. So this is all like a Waking the Dragon package that I like, because I'm not really summoning any of these monsters with any of my other stuff. But Waking the Dragon, very good card for these. So off rip, if they're popping your Waking the Dragon, you Ojama lock them, they're done. Is very good. If they have a lot of monsters out and they pop your stuff, Cyberblader is a very good choice. With the effects for how many monsters they have on the field. Very good card there, versatile. Then we've also got Destiny and Dragoon. It's a big monster, can pop a monster as well, negating the battle phase, but of course, if we're using that as I predicted, we're not really going to be needing that battle phase, are we? And we've also got Cyber End Dragon, piercing 4,000 damage, really, really good card. To have there. And then we've also got Thousand Eyes Restrict. This card is generally what I use if they've got monsters out on the field. It is the only card that can attack. It locks them down pretty much, and then also it eats their monster. And then, you're not really attacking and you're only using that burn for damage. So then this is a really good monster just to brick and floodgate their whole game. And then also last, Ryusenshi, Trap negation is very good for this. It costs 1,000 life points, but it's worth it, especially when you're trying to get off your own effects and everything and stop their stuff, as well as it is unaffected by spells, which is just a good bonus. And for the side deck, we've got 2 Quakings. Like I said, these would be something that you would want to side for those Waking the Dragons. So, after that first game, they're going to be popping those face downs, and they're gonna be punished with that Waking the Dragon. And so, that second round, they're going to be like, thinking about, okay, do I want to pop these cards and then attack into, whatever I've got? So it's a very good punishment, very good mind game to get them. And then we've got some one-ofs. We've got Nightmare Penguin, another Medora, and a Fossil Dynapachycephalo. I usually switch these. I run 2 Nightmare Penguins. If I'm worrying about them special summoning a big monster or something like that, that's a very good monster to floodgate and keep stalling and keep going through that burn, as well as another Nightmare Penguin, because I do run one of these in the main deck as well. So if they've got stuff that I'm not really worried about, and then I want to keep sending stuff back to the hand, Nightmare Penguin's very good because there's a synergy there with Koala, and then that can just be more consistent with me sending their cards back to the hand and dealing more damage with Koala. And then another Medora is very good as well with an Exchange of the Spirit. It's very meta to run, as I predicted, with Exchange of the Spirit, Medora, and all that stuff to flip your opponent's deck and have them deck out easily with that small deck size in this format. So running these 2 is very good, especially also if people are searching in the graveyard and using that. Using stuff in the graveyard to summon monsters and everything like that with fossils is pretty good deck. This card can send one of those cards back to the graveyard, and then they can't summon that stuff, and it negates those effects and shuts them down pretty easy. And so, those are all what I run. There were some other plays and stuff like that. We had talked about the Ojama lock with the Waking that they had gotten off at the start. Or I'd gotten off at the start, in that first round. The best deck in the game is Dark Magicians, and that's kind of hard to play around. Or like once you recognize it, you got to know to play around it, because you can Cyber Dragon monster. You can Cyber Dragon a Dark Magician onto the field if your opponent controls a monster. So my third round, I had to worry about that, and I was going against a Dark Magician player, and so first round, I just put a bunch of face downs, and I didn't really worry about summoning a monster because I didn't want him to Cyber Dragon stuff. And so I'd made sure to put that Waking in there so I could summon like 1,000 Eyes Restrict and stuff, which I did after he popped it with Dark Magic Attack later after he had summoned a Dark Magician. But just avoiding that was something that I made sure to do. there's a move that I like, some moves that you can pull with the penguins that are very good. So like if you have a penguin face down on the field and you've got a desk koala in your hand, you can set that desk koala, flip some of the penguins, send monsters, or if this is a nightmare penguin, send any other one of their cards that they control back to their hand. As well as soldier penguin's very good because it says 2 monsters, so you can send one. If they just got 1 monster, you flip some of that, send your soldier penguin back to your hand. You can set that your next turn, and then you'd activate Desert's Peril, flipping 1 card face up, and then you can flip that desk koala up for more damage off of that. So that's a really good combo I like to pull. And that's what I think I did to win against that Dark Magician player. I just had to think of the order of how it would go through, and so I had to make sure I'd set something, flip it, put stuff to the hand, and then activate that effect.
Okay, awesome. And thanks, Logan, for your deck profile, and congratulations on being the first Minnesota State Speed Duel champion.